For a long time, I thought women didn't poo, right? I didn't think that happened from the female sex. I thought you weed, and I didn't think you pooed. I thought if you did, little flowers came out.
And tell them where you thought we urinated from.
I thought you weed out your bum. Hi everyone, I'm James Haskell.
And I'm Chloe Madeley.
And welcome to episode 2 of Couples Quarantine. We made it to the first one. Thank you so much for all your positive feedback. Glad you're loving our absolute shitchat.com.
Yeah, we've actually had some amazing questions from you guys already. And one of them has set the tone for today's podcast topic. I have briefly run it past James. And it's a bit of an uncomfortable one.
Well, more uncomfortable for men than for women, I think.
No, could not be more wrong.
This is going to be a good show.
I completely disagree.
Already started having a row.
No, but
I'll fight you in front of all these people on
this
podcast.
is how we came to the conclusion that one of the questions, and we will get to the questions at the end, and they are fantastic, should be the topic, because it made us both laugh, which obviously is key. But also, James is of the opinion that this is worse for boys, and I don't think there's many people out there, men included, who would agree with that statement. So without going into the question, we'll just open this up by talking about going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So as a new couple, when you first start sleeping together, I mean, you know what? Let's just throw all kind of political correctness out the window.
When have you ever done anything politically correct, either of us?
I know. Fine. So in the beginning, in my experience, I normally will start sleeping with a guy before I start dating him. James?
Why? Such a whorebag. I love it.
Well, come on. I mean, you've got to test drive the car before you take it.
Yeah, I'm all
out
about that life. I'm all about life. That's why I don't understand the no sex before marriage rule. Like, you're buying something, you don't know how it drives, how it operates.
I think that's religion. I don't think that's out of,
No, some people do that. I mean, listen, we're going to have a whole show, because this is such a potent topic. Take notes. Chloe's like my secretary.
I'm absolutely not like the secretary.
Write that down.
You have a secretary. She's called Steph.
Let's do a show all about actually sleeping before and after, because I've got some strong opinions about the shit that men have to go through.
Okay.
For this, but we'll cover off another topic.
Fine. Well, I'm a woman, not a man, and I will tell you straight up, as you know from experience, we were sleeping together weeks before we made it official, and we only made it official because I ended up going on a 2-month work trip to Austria.
Yeah. I thought you weren't going to come back. That's why I agreed to go out with you. And then look,
I mean, one subject we've never broached is I've never asked James, and nor will I ever ask him, but just for the benefit of the podcast, I've never asked him if whether those 2 months that I was away was he faithful.
Yes, you have. You've asked me a million times.
I'm pretty sure that he'll lie.
I was absolutely not doing bits. No, I wasn't. Absolutely wasn't. I wasn't, because you were terrifying. You called me up and said you loved me halfway through the time in Austria. So
yeah, that was my mistake.
Yeah,
and
we're going off topic. Let's talk about the bog.
Okay, fine, the bog. Right, so what I was saying was, in the beginning, you sleep with someone before you end up officially dating.
Yes, fine. Well, however you get there. Yeah.
At least me and my friends.
However you end up in bed, is what you're saying. However you end up in bed.
Yeah, and I think as a woman,
yes,
it is incredibly uncomfortable when you know you have to go to the toilet for a number 2.
Right.
But obviously, like, you're still in the sex phase with this person. Yeah. You're certainly not living together, and you're not even dating well enough to kind of accidentally burp in front of one another. Yeah. And it's like, this is like a step 10 times removed from where we are and how I want this person to see me. So you either have to be really uncomfortable and just suck it up from the bottom up, or you have to try really hard to hide and disguise what you need to do.
Like a fox or something, dig a hole in the garden?
No, like as in like turning showers on, pretending that you need a quick shower, turning taps on, pretending that you're brushing your teeth. But the worst thing...
I used to think you showered 8 times a day. Don't tell me that you weren't.
I do actually shower twice a day.
Yeah.
I mean, environmentalists will hate me for that, but I don't bathe, so get over it.
I don't think environmentalists are listening to this show.
Absolutely.
I think only sad people like us are listening back to this show.
But I think, so these are like tips and tricks that women do, but you're really in a bad situation, especially when I was a student, this would always happen, obviously, where there's no loo roll. That's a bad situation.
Yeah, very student-esque.
Very student-esque. But there are ways to handle that include the tap and soap and your hands.
Oh, Chloe.
But there's that.
You can't wash your ass in the sink.
No, not in the no.
I thought that was a cleaner doing that.
Then the other really bad situation is when the toilet won't flush.
Yeah, that's a nightmare for any man.
Yeah.
And any woman. That's a nightmare. It's universal.
But there's also a trick to that, which is that any kind of holding, whether it's like a bin or a toilet brush holder, anything, if you can get enough water out of the sink tap down the toilet,
it'll unbalance it.
It will flush it.
Right.
Yeah, so guys, bear that in mind. But yeah, there are sticky situations, and and James seems to think this is worse for men. So now I will let you do it.
Yeah, shall I tell you why? Right. Okay, let's get this very clear. Ladies, right? For a long time, I thought women didn't poo. Right? I didn't think that happened from the female sex. I thought you weed, and I didn't think you pooed. I thought if you did, little flowers came out.
And tell them where you thought we urinated from.
I thought you weed out your bum as well.
So James's mum did a great job praising him, by the way. James genuinely thought until he was a teenager that we weed out of our bum.
Yeah, I don't know. The shock actually when I saw our first family was a real itener, but that's a show in itself. Working the way around that.
You've never been the same since.
I have never been the same since. I know. So basically, let me explain. So I didn't know women fired, right? So you girls are great at hiding that whole side of the situation, right?
True.
Like lads, quite gassy race, high protein diet athlete, very gassy indeed, right? When ladies do drop a bomb, right? It's not a bomb. It's like, I imagine, it's tiny little rabbit poos, which have absolutely no impact on anything. Because I just know, like, it's not, you're all, I
think it's very contextual.
Listen, I've been on enough dates with girls who've ordered a fucking salad and shit like that, where I'm grazing to a sticky toffee pudding.
I've been through enough dates with girls.
No, I've been on enough dates when people have been eating salad and pecking at, slight bit of chicken breast. I'm having every meal's a 3-course meal with me. Finished off with a sticky toffee pudding. If when I go to the bathroom...
Ooh, feces.
No, don't white. Listen, we're trying to skirt around.
It's contextual to the last 24 hours of your life.
It is contextual. Well, my point is when a bloke goes to the toilet, it's more of an event, right? It's a more an aggressive event. There's no getting away with that. So let me play a scenario for you. I've got, in my formative days, I'm single a long time ago, right? I've gone back after a very long courtship with a girl back to her student digs. We're sleeping in a fish finger bed, right? I've had a massive graze in the evening. There was no getting around this. It's an ensuite connected to this. There's just no getting around this. What am I going to do? So you thought you might slide out a bit of gas, but how do you do that without sounding like you've got a small brass band section? So you're like trying to, under pressure, to do that. You know what I mean? And accidentally, if in the morning you bend over to put your boxer shorts on and comes out. It's a hard situation. So I'm saying it's way more difficult for men because women can disguise it with a shower. You can't disguise dropping a bomb. And it's so much pressure. I'd have to stay at someone's house, wake up early, and go to a pub or go to something else, and like to get because you've got.
Okay, can I tell you why it's worse for women?
Why?
Because we do not care. We are not shocked. We are not surprised.
Well,
our mind is not blown. If a guy that we're dating, sleeping with, we know that men fart and shit and think it's hilarious. But much like you just started your whole argument with, you don't think women fart, shit. You think that if we do, it's, as you said, quote unquote, little pebble poos.
Yeah.
So the reason why it's worse is because you guys expect us to be sexy, pretty, cutesy, ladylike. But just like you, we have a human body. That's shit. Our GI tract is the same as yours. Okay, we have the colon, we have the intestines, we have everything the same. We shit too.
Yeah.
So so let me ask you from a woman's perspective, because this is what any female listeners will want to know.
Yeah.
If you were dating a girl and you thought she was like fit, like moderately to whatever, you're attracted to her.
Yeah.
And you're having good sex and you think you're kind of considering maybe potentially, without jumping the gun, maybe dating her a bit more seriously.
Yeah, I hear you.
And then one night she stays over and she gets the shits to the point where it starts with farting and it ends with full on, don't come in the bathroom, I'm having an issue here.
Wow.
Do you change your opinion on this girl based on that? Or do you laugh it off like you would if it was a male friend and think like, or do you feel like quite sorry for them? Like, fuck.
I mean, actually, interestingly enough, I heard about one of my former teammates for England actually asked, on the night he asked his partner to get married to him. They went out for a Chinese.
She told me this.
Went out for a Chinese and got food poisoning, and he was dropping a bomb on the toilet while she was spewing in the sink.
And then they'd swap.
And they swap, and that was the night they got engaged. And like,
yeah, but they're engaged.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm talking about doors.
Look, I think it's very contextual in terms of how much I like the person. It's a punchy start. And obviously it's happened to lots of people. I think I would probably forgive them. I think I'd pull for a pretty solid...
Forgive them? This is the whole point. Forgive give them
sorry.
for having human biology.
Sorry, I'd feel sorry for them, and I know how awkward it'd be because I wouldn't know what would happen if I'd done. But I'd probably pulled the plug if I knew it was heading that way. I just have scuttled off because I think that's what we should come on. I mean, my old ways of doing it: wake up early, nipping to a pub or a leisure centre, or a petrol station. That's why petrol station toilets are such a hellhole. Because people are just rushing around, so I
don't think that is why that is why hotel lobby toilets are a hellhole.
Yes, yeah.
And then now we can come on to the holiday.
Fine.
Because, James and I had been on so many holidays together where I was only going to the toilet in the lobby.
Yeah.
I would say at least the first year of our relationship, we maybe went on 2 holidays together. Yeah. If not the first 2 years of our relationship, I would only go to the loo in the lobby.
So would I.
And I can't remember when or why it changed. But at some point, it was like, you know what? I think it must have been when we moved in together, which was what, 2 years into our dating? Or maybe even just 1. How long were we together before we moved in?
Before you wormed your way into the full setup?
Like 2 years, yeah. So maybe 2 years, I would only go to the loo in the hotel lobby. Yeah. And I would do all the shower tricks and everything I've mentioned to try and hide it.
Wiping your ass in the sink, crapping in the garden.
No, that was when there's no loo roll. That's not like a go-to.
I'm sorry, I thought that was a technical.
But I would say it was only, I think, when we moved in together. And even then, the first year, I think I went we've got 2 spare bedrooms, luckily. Thank you, rugby. I would go to the spare bedroom and do it there. But I think there just came a point where I was like, you know what, if we're going to live together, if we're going to go on holiday together for more than a few days at a time, I'm going to have to just go to the loo.
Of course you are.
But you broke way before I did.
Yes. I mean, I think there are some tactics, I think, with the relationship. I think the awkwardness is inescapable the first few times. I will concede this, because this podcast is about learning and development, I think, for men and for women listening.
Oh, because clearly we know so much.
Well, I've learned. I think you're right. I think actually the expectation is the men to be grubby, rat bags. Women have there's a certain pretense that that you have to adhere to. That
But there was a girl that we both know, that you really fancied before we ever got together, who was known for doing.
Yeah, I had to put a little yellow cone an orange cone outside the door. That would flag she's gone in there and
it never put you off. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
no, but I don't think it does. Listen, I think look, you have to be quite callous. I think what I'm talking about is I think for women that you can slide it under the radar more than you can men initially. You said the shower techniques about so I'm talking about, without going into too much detail. There's a lot of pre-admin you'd have to deal with to manage that, and we can come on to it because I think we've got a question which we'll actually answer.
What are you scared of? So I said we are meant to be seen as pretty, sexy, attractive, fuckable, essentially, let's be honest, all men want their partner to, at least in their eyes, look and feel like a Victoria's Secret model. Right. And Victoria's Secret models don't shit. Well, they do, just to be clear. But
not in a dark cocaine, cigarettes and salads.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you did name just 2 laxatives out of all of those. Right. But I will say that so it's hard.
Yeah.
What are men scared of? Why? Why are you? What do you think you're going to do?
I think it's just smell, sound, noise. Avoidable.
Resulting in what? What's the worst situation? The girls kind of.
Well, I'll give you an example. So I again, long time ago. I think it depends what the situation is. So I love you, and I loved you. So it wasn't it wasn't a situation. I think when you're in a bit of a purely sexual mindsets, right? Things can put you off. For example,
you didn't love me at first. We were banging.
No, but you weren't. But you were showering, washing your ass in the sink, and crapping in the rose bushes.
No, I wasn't.
Well, that's what you fucking told me. This is couples quarantine.
This is exactly a conversation.
Okay, listen. I'll
be like, this thing made me uncomfortable, and he'll be like, well, you said you were going to kill yourself. I'm like, what are you talking about?
If Chloe's made out that she wipes her ass in the sink and shits the flabbered, please email cqquestions@jameshaskell.org. I think that I will give you that I think it is equal in certain aspects. I just meant that it's more difficult for men to disguise what they're doing. I think there are some methodology, but I think it's a very difficult situation. I think women have to, it's 50-50 mutually difficult, but I think it's a lot harder for men to disguise what they're doing for sheer biology because,
Okay, so now you're married.
Yes.
And we've, actually.
Oh, well, that's why the whole reason we talk about it, because in couples quarantine, the fucking rules have gone out the window. Well,
this is what I will say. So even though I definitely gave up on the disguising the poo situation, I would say definitely by year 2 that we moved in together, I was like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. This is ridiculous. And I'm glad that I came to that conclusion because it was necessary. I will say this. The first time I ever farted in front of you was lockdown.
I mean, look.
But I feel like 5.5 years. Do you remember when? I mean, we probably shouldn't say names, should we?
No, don't
There's
ever